Canadian police say there have been 2 sightings of the suspects in the slaying of an American woman, her Australian boyfriend, and another man in the Gillam area of Manitoba, and they still believe they're in the area.
So the search for Cam McLeod and Briar Schmigelski continues, and we can now confirm that there have been 2 established and corroborated sightings of the suspects in the Gillam area. These sightings were prior to the discovery of the burnt-out vehicle. There have also been no reported stolen vehicles that could be attributed to the suspects. At this point in the investigation, we believe they are still in the area. Manitoba RCMP has deployed a significant amount of resources to the Gillam area, including our emergency response team, our crisis negotiation team, police dog services, and air services assets. The RCMP Major Crime Unit is involved, as well as the RCMP's North District and RCMP resources from other provinces. Our officers have conducted detailed and thorough searches of potential areas of interest, and these searches continue. Over the last 48 hours, we have received over 80 tips, and we continue to ask the public to remain vigilant for Cam McLeod and Briar Schmigelski.
A third-party organization linked to a series of robocall and text campaigns in Canada is now officially registered as a third party for the upcoming federal election. Canada Strong and Proud first came to public attention when it sent out robocalls in late June asking for information about recipients' voting intentions and support for pipelines. Some complained about receiving the calls without having provided the group with their phone numbers. Now, Canada Strong and Proud is one of 26 organizations so far that will be spending money on advertisements or other political activity in the coming months. According to Elections Canada's website, the group was registered July 23rd. The commanding officer of the RCMP in Alberta has apologized for how the force handled the 2010 disappearance and death of Amber Tuccaro, whose body was found in the bush around Edmonton 2 years after she got into the car of an unknown man for a ride into the city. But her family has rejected that apology, questioning its sincerity.
To the mothers of the missing and murdered, please, please, find the strength and come forward. And you've been wronged, like Amber's case was, come forward. An apology needs to be heartfelt, not just words. You know what I mean? See, look again, they just proved again. They're just getting up and leaving the next appointment, right? I mean, they're the ones apologizing, but yet they can get up and walk away. What does that say?
The Supreme Court is to rule this morning on whether the military system for trying members charged with civilian offenses is constitutional. It's dealing with multiple cases at once involving people in uniform charged with crimes such as sexual assault, reckless use of firearms, and growing magic mushrooms. If those charged were civilians, they would be entitled to trials with juries because of the severity of the offenses, but because they are or were in the military, their cases have been handled in military tribunals where jury trials aren't options, and the accused argue this violates their charter rights. The government argues the Charter of Rights and Freedoms explicitly allows a parallel military justice system that's supposed to encompass offenses that aren't strictly military so that commanders can keep order and discipline. The unsettled legal question has thrown the military's justice system into confusion, with prosecutors dropping cases, reducing charges, or transferring trials fully into civilian courts while they waited for today's decision. The U.S. federal government will resume executing death row inmates for the first time since 2003, ending an informal moratorium, even as the nation sees a broad shift away from capital punishment.
The number of African Americans far outnumbers their percentage in the general population. The same is true on federal death row with regard to people from Hispanic backgrounds. So that problem actually was raised by the prior administration under President Obama, Eric Holder, the Attorney General, said we're not going to pursue the federal death penalty because we are really concerned about this racial disparity. That racial disparity has been present since the very beginning when Eric Holder served under Janet Reno 20-some years ago. It's also disproportionately visited on people who don't have money. Wealthy people tend not to get the death penalty, things like that.
A new poll conducted for the Canadian Press seems to show the cloud of the SNC-Lavalin controversy is lifting for the federal Liberals, who now face a closer fight with the Conservatives less than 3 months to go until the election. In a web survey conducted earlier this month, the polling firm Leger found 36% support among decided voters for the Conservatives and 33% now for the Liberals. The firm says support for the Tories has dipped by 2 percentage points since the last time it conducted a survey back in June, while support for the Liberals has gone up by 4 percentage points. Leger's Executive Vice President Christian Burke says some sunlight is starting to appear for the Liberals, who witnessed sliding poll numbers beginning in February as Parliament Hill was rocked by a former Justice Minister's claims that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau leaned on her to arrange a deal for SNC-Lavalin on criminal charges it faces. The latest poll was conducted among about 1,500 Canadians who are eligible to vote and were randomly recruited from an online panel.